Do we have to wait till night time or something?
Zombie ate your dog? Orc sunk your ship? No matter! You're at Katerina's Fair, a veritable summer home for troubled minds. Won't you take a seat and let our esteemed entertainers whisk you off to a better place?
Sure. Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm Katerina the Fair, fairest first lady of the fair, of course. I do love making the acquaintance of my patrons, and who knows which of them might become one of my performers. I've an open stage in want of talent, and I've often found the best young performers among the rank and file of the audience.
An open stage, you say? And what if I were interested in putting on a performance? No, don't do that.
The theatre's fever has overcome you, has it? Marvelous! I do so love a fresh green talent ready to bloom. But I support players, not writers, you see. If you want to perform here, you'll have to find tried and true material.
Is this like when you make Commander Shepard dance in Mass Effect?
Check the library and see if any of the classics there interest you. I'd love to see a Source Hunters take on one of the old standards.
I'm ready for my theatrical debut. When shall I start?
Right away, my dear, just as fast as your boots can carry you. You found something decent to perform, I trust, and you've gathered enough actors to do it justice?
Yeah?
Speak to Master Chaucer if you're ready for your debut. He alone can adequately prepare you for the stage.
Fantastic! Performers, showmen, show all of them.
My word!
I'm guessing cracking up a crowd, the definitive guide, is going to be what we go with whenever we get to that point. Yeah, this game it's so colourful. It's just so light-hearted as well so far. I mean, that's probably going to change as we get through. But it's just a nice change from Mass Effect 3, which we were doing last week. Talk to the...
Bersha's shape is gone, gone, gone. Think it vanished through one of them swirly shrines?
Oh, I'd not thought of that. I'd not thought of that at all. Let's go speak to Chaucer.
And who are you supposed to be?
Tell me about yourself, Chaucer.
Oh, I should have been one of the greats, but here I am gathering peasants to watch peasants perform broadside pageants for peanuts.
Got a pretty bad case of the hiccups there.
No, really? I hadn't noticed. If not for this ridiculous condition, you'd know me as the king's favorite thespian.
Of course, yeah. Where can I... oh no, we've got material to perform. Stage Master, are you? Perhaps I'd like to perform a show.
Katerina's given the go-ahead, has she? Oh, very well then.
It might be good, you don't know.
Tell me when you're ready to begin, and I'll show you to your places, and gather you whatever crowd of drunken yokels can be prevailed upon to watch you flail about on stage.
Let's do it, I'm ready.
Ready for your trial by fire, you mean? There's no more savage foe than an audience, my dear. But I'm sure you'll do just fine. May the show begin!
Two-man show, right?
And I'd like to be the king of Stormfist, but I haven't got the credentials, have I? Come back when you've found some material worthy of my stage.
So it's got to be a one-man show.
I have an impressive library here in Sicil. I'm sure that beast of a librarian could rustle something up for you.
Do we need to read the books? I don't really want to do that.
Come on! Come all! Can't you hear the stage calling you? stage calling you.
Oh, well, shield. That could have been quite good, actually. Fun with fluids. That's going to be a potion, right? Tell me that's a potion.
You there.
Poison.
Like an actor just waiting for
Poison
his
resistance,
big
sorry.
debut.
He who smelts it. That's going to be ore. Oh no, sword. Nice. And more fun with fluids. Fire resistance is going to be good.
Come on.
Pirate's life.
Hear the
I'm not going to
stage
read these
calling
because
you.
the font's not great.
You there. You look like an actor
Cracking up a crowd. That's what I want to do. I'm guessing that's the one-man show thing. Swords. Where did our weapons just go?
Come on. Come on. Can't you hear the stage calling you?
Where did that stuff just vanish off to?
Performers, showmen, show all of them. Cecil, what you're made
Maybe it
of.
did give it to us.
Beer and flatulence.
What did he just say about beer and flatulence? I don't know.
You
I
there.
don't know, it doesn't matter.
You look like an actor just
Can you
waiting
spare
for his
a
big
coin?
debut.
That's a broken barrel. Right, so we need to figure out this sheep as well then. Apparently. Esmeralda, that's where we're headed to.
Those boots would embarrass a bridge drove. Get to shining recruits.
Esmeralda's back all the way over here. Okay. Should we do this without Johan? Was he Johan? Is it Jahan? 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 Pat a Cake, Volume 3. I guess we'll take that as well. Oh, I get it. The books give us recipes. Should I be opening them on somebody else then? Ah. I don't know if that changes anything. Oh, we need to head in here. Where's the guards? Oh, they're inside.
Leave me be, I have a job to do.
Alright.
Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here, sworn as I am to protect Lady Esmeralda from the rabble that would enforce summary justice on her, even though she is, until proven guilty, wholly innocent.
What a great voice. Who are you?
I am Septimus, seventh son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Cecile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. But never shall I lose heart. Long as a single legionnaire stands, all of us remain undefeated in the eyes of the gods.
He has a noble way about him. Let's discuss Jake's
Jake's
death.
murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Cecile. The Council of 7 couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people should have braved the undead siege for so long, only to be felled by foul sorcery, is heartrending.
What do you think about Esmeralda?
So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of murder.
So here.
In my mind, her presumed guilt is a fallacy, and indeed a fabrication. Steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. And I hold no such proof exists.
He's pretty sure then. I'd like to ask you some questions.
What questions are those?
Tell me about the
I
undead.
remember waking up with a head full of hammers 2 years ago. The drill sergeant barking away, "Up you get, lads, we sail for Sicile. Them's in need of the Legion over there." They certainly were, and they are still. Only, we cannot grant them victory. For I have yet to see the mortal soul that can put those undead bastards to rest once and for all.
Tell me about Sicile.
This place is practically a tomb, and these Sicilians are constantly crying for our attention. There's a zombie in my garden, an orc ate my baby. My sheep is gone, oh woe is me. Nevertheless, I'll be grateful when our reinforcements finally arrive. Maybe they'll manage to muster the will to care.
But he was so noble, like 30 seconds ago. I'll take my leave. Are you Esmeralda? Yes. You will talk to me about the death of your husband.
Assure me, lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the matter?
Who are you?
I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same.
You tell me more about this place.
Well, what do you want to know?
Sicile.
Never imagined that finding a £1/4 of mouldy, moth-eaten flour would be a cause for celebration in this city. How things have changed.
Grim. Tell me about the undead.
Praise be that Arhu the wizard has the wits about him to build these newfangled weapons of his, or Sicile would have been the very throne of decay by now. Because of him, life here is almost bearable again, despite the walking dead. Though it's rather eerie and perplexing at the same time to think about how quickly one adjusts to the great dangers when a handful of guardians holds them at bay.
Now, let's discuss your husband's murder.
Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you?
I've said nothing.
So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my headaches.
Is she genuine? I will take my leave.
She seems to be quite adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
Do we know where he's supposed to have died? For a washroom, that's covered in cobwebs. Oak flat bow, that sounds quite nice.
We'll have none of that, you hear?
You're not going to let me in then? So I'm losing all kinds of... I need to search this place. That's all covered in cobwebs as well. Something weird is happening here. Smelly panties give you 1 charisma. They're not worth anything. these gems? And there's nobody here? Well, we'll just steal everything. Don't touch or don't take or touch property that isn't yours. They're not here though. They're not. So we can just take it all, right? But nobody knows we're here. So I can stop it. What's that? I don't see the point in taking the shirts, right? I have heard that paintings are well worth stealing though. And it just fits in your pocket. Oh yeah, we check that. Painting of a rooster. I wonder how old it is. Nothing. Didn't even challenge us. We just stole most of their expensive stuff. And nobody cares. Right, who do I need to talk to? Because... the wife. Esmeralda says she didn't commit the murder. I need to find evidence. Can we inspect the body, or am I going too far? We should maybe go to the headquarters, shouldn't we? Too well. Let's sell our riches. And then we'll head over to the Legionnaires.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
It was you who had stuff, wasn't it? It's a nice picture.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Yeah, they're pretty good pictures.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Well, what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
How about you buy
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
all the stuff I've stolen? Is it worth keeping diamonds and jewels and stuff, do you think? Or do we just sell them? They don't take up much weight, so I'm tempted to keep them. I don't know if we use them for crafting or anything. Or the same with the books. I'm going to keep the gems for now. That's the back of the House of Healing. Right, so if we go talk to the captain, maybe the captain will give us leave to search the shop. They're not very good, are they?
Know much about zombies, do you? How about walking bones?
Better to evacuate this place while there's still some left to save, I say.
We've heard that before.
It's heating
Good luck
up.
with these Sicilian Source Hunter. They'll run you ragged if you let them.
Why are they warm? You're just a legionnaire, right?
A good day to you.
Who are you? Selena.
Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes, if ever there was one. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, the Legion could use your help as well.
Oh, of course.
We've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success.
I think that was an insult.
With whom do I have the honour of speaking?
Lieutenant Selenia, at your service. I'm Captain
Selenia,
Aureus'
sorry.
second in command, but rest assured I am a lot more kindly inclined towards source hunters than he is.
Everyone seems to think that Aureus is a arsehole.
Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Sicil is, Source Hunter. A gift
and a blessing. Only heroes such as yourself can make a true difference in this troubled part of the world. Such is my honest conviction.
So let's discuss the undead.
The undead. I pitied them at first. Many
Why?
among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Syciel after all. No longer do I feel that way, though. Too many of my soldiers have fallen. The dead must be put down without mercy, if we can.
Continue.
The bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your muscles and test the waters before blindly diving to your death.
You seem to have confidence in my abilities. I'd like to talk about some matters concerning
I
the
shall be
Legion.
very glad to share what information I can give you.
There are some sailors looking for work. Perhaps there's a place for them in the Legion.
It's very sweet of you that you are trying to get these men a job. But I'm afraid they're not Legion material. Sure, they can tie a knot and blow a whistle like the best of them. But even with a sword in their hands, they wouldn't stand a chance against the undead. And I don't want any more blood on my hands.
Let's discuss these expeditions into hostile territory.
If ever we want to be victorious in Syciel, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising.
Agree.
Under the Pact of Volunteers, 3 expeditions were launched to do just that. But so far, none of their participants have returned. 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation. The lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. Places fraught with danger all.
Regarding the lighthouse,
There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle every night. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are mere tall tales. I fear for their safety.
and the burial mounds.
There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense.
A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge on the subject may prove to be of use to them.
And the old church?
There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the 7 instead, supposedly to symbolize the victory of the gods over evil sorcery.
And you don't think it went well?
All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. Hence the expedition.
You mentioned a pact you made with your legionnaires.
So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission behind enemy lines.
Okay.
The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soldiers are free to volunteer, and if they are successful, they just bought themselves a boat ride home.
I can see where that would work. Sounds like more quests.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
Such a variety of accents and things in this game. It's great. Already.
Drink and gamble. That's all we do around here. Hope you fare better, Source Hunter.
Better at drinking or gambling.
Yeah, chicken, chicken, chicken. Don't let that rooster escape. He's already on the menu for tonight.
Isn't it a chicken's destiny to be eaten? We should catch it and give it back to the
Isn't it a
cook.
chicken's destiny to be eaten? We should
Says
catch
it.
it and give it back to the cook.
Wait a minute. I don't want to see this poor chicken here slaughtered. I want him free, free, free!
Who knows what the chef might do if we don't give him the chicken. He won't carve us up. I'm not worried about the chef. If the chicken belongs to the chef, setting it free would be the equivalent of theft? I mean, maybe. Maybe we just go with charm.
If the chef makes something especially tasty, maybe he'll give us a nibble for helping him out.
I bet you'd make an even tastier roast than that
I
chicken.
bet you'd make an even tastier roast than that chicken.
She wants that chicken alive. Should have seen that coming. Yes, right, okay, this is going to be a close one. Ah! She won.
Alright, we'll do it your way.
We should be able to hear that if it's talking to both of us.
Why did you let my chicken escape? You let my chicken escape? Looks like it's your lucky day, Jack. Now to tell the troops they're getting nothing but the cornbread.
I feel bad for the troops now.
Greetings! These stores are for our Legion troops.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Can we not go talk to Jack?
I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are
No, we can't talk to Jack.
Open mall, I'll be disfigured for life.
Sir, no sir. Come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face furious.
Or we can go see Ahu as well.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
And that...
Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
A curious situation you've gotten here. This woman in the cage under
She may have
arrest.
the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
What will become of this admittedly strange stranger?
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Oh, is this a companion? Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She's more likely to come in handy if we trust her to watch our backs.
About face!
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy, if we can trust her to watch our backs.
That's a mighty big if.
Again!
Or a fearless hunter. I mean, a hunter's got to be useful, right? It's just another person.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
Sorry, sir.
Can we talk to her?
You say you will take me under your wing.
But I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears?
Child of the bears?
And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. So says the saga of Threes. Do you know it? The wise godwolf Amira raised the child Threes among her litter. So you see, I have good company. Threes the wolfson, and I the bear daughter.
Bear daughter, you say? I meant that I will be responsible for you. I will keep you out of trouble.
In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I am happy to have a friend in such a place.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Ask freely, my friend.
So you were raised by bears in the wild?
Your city is far more wild than Home Forest. In Home Forest, the rules are clear. In Home Forest, your strength and speed determine your fate. Here, a tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage, and one must wait for a kind stranger to grant freedom.
How did you learn to speak?
Damn it. wise Jarrett taught me the bird songs of our people. If not for him, I would never have learned more than the beasts could teach me. A beast's life is to survive. A human's is to know. I am both beast and human, and so I must do both.
Tell me about Jareth.
He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild one, yet unaware of the difference between the other cubs and herself. He called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great bird. We each reached out to the other. We found each other. Jarrett visited me often, and in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food and fetched his water by day while he studied his books and his magics. By night, by the fire, he'd tell me tales of the world of people. Jarrett is my master and my friend, my teacher and myself. He teaches me and I care for him.
You seem to know quite a lot of history for the daughter of a bear. How is this possible?
I have learned all the
I think she
bird
just
songs that
answered that.
Jarrett could teach. I remembered every word. These tales have brought me much pleasure. The remembering of the beasts is without lies. We know not to approach the wasp's nest because long ago one bear mother discovered its dangers. This she taught to her cubs, and those cubs taught the next. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes. We remember only what is useful to us now. Rito will be forgotten. The beauty of the story will be forgotten. But the lesson will not. It is different between beasts and humans. I am lucky to enjoy both ways.
Why have you come to
I
Sicily?
heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. I have seen more faces here in a day than I had seen in all the days of my life together.
You must be fairly overwhelmed, then.
But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. It is my duty to find him.
Clues to his
That
location.
mystery is thick and ugly as a swarm of hornets. It started with a great disturbance in Home Forest. A terrible disease came in the night and turned the birds and beasts soft and foul as carrion while they still lived.
Potentially undead?
I watched countless of my loved ones die, rotted from the inside. When I ran to Jarrett to tell him what I had seen, his reaction was strange. He had no answer. The next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. I broke down the door and inside his chamber was nothing. His equipment, his books, all but some scraps of parchment were gone. He was kidnapped and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. Death, coming for you. And the signature? Attenborough.
Attenborough.
I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he or she may know where Jarrett has been taken.
Cool. Let's go find Attenborough. Might be able to tell us what's going on in the forest. Take my leave.
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
It's pretty true.
Recruits, that was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!